Damn, I'm fucking hungry for fucking
Now I really
Costco.
want to go to Costco.
I want
right now.
taquitos, dude.
I parked right outside. We can go, dude.
There's no reality in which two people who detox from heroin are also like, we just figured out we have so much in common sober. Like, we thought it was just good robbing our families together, but we love Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
we had no idea.
Right.
I thought it was just because Val
We got
knew all
really
the...
into Settlers of Catan.
Yeah,
After
right.
we kicked the heroin addiction.
I did a comedy show once, and that game has some hold on people because I was doing a comedy show. I'm a fat guy screaming,
Yeah.
and not one of them looked up. Like from that game, like in the back, it was some hipster bar, and like the back of it, they were playing that game, and it had like a cult, like
Yeah.
Oh, people
they
love
were
that
just
shit.
they were in it.
You know, it's funny. I was going over to Adam's house and playing it, and we were doing blow every time we played Catan. And it got me back into Catan.
Yeah,
And then a couple weeks ago,
get you back into most things.
yeah,
Yeah.
we went over there and tried to play Catan sober, and I'm like, oh right, this game sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was just frustrated that I wasn't,
Good at Catan
getting fucked up.
or not on coke.
Right.
I was
Yes.
staying with somebody in LA, and they were like doing a role playing game, and it was kind of weird. These are people that are like comedy writers that make like
Hundreds
hundreds of thousands of dollars, and like, hey, can you not come home tonight? And I'm like, oh yeah, what are you, some orgy, some LA fuck? They're like, no, we have like a Call of Cthulhu role playing game. I'm like, you're like in your mid 30s. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Justin,
well,
Justin tried to offer that. The Chapo guy. He was like,
yeah.
we thought it would be cool to do like a Call of Cthulhu episode of Come Town. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
It would be funny to
He's like, we did it with Chapo and it's great. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that.
It would be funny
I have
for how,
no interest in doing
but
a role
you
playing.
know they would spend so much time trying to get it together, and we would just be like, "This shit is fucking gay."
Yeah.
It's like, I roll to pull my cock out and have an orc suck it.
Yeah.
And how many times me asking the guy that do you think it would take for him
of
to
all the
quit?
lame gay bullshit I've been into in my life, I'm glad that I never went down the dark paths of anime or role playing.
D&D?
And what was funny about the role playing
Yeah.
game is he's like, listen, he's like, if you do come home, just don't like call it out. I'm like, what? He's like, we're really into it. So like, if you happen to come home, just like, like don't ask what it is. I'm like, I know what it is. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. That's
So-
brutal.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's weird,
Man, that's tough.
but that's weird because you're like, this is what you're doing.
But it there's an element of it like I have thought like, oh, maybe this shit isn't fucking
Lame.
horrible, but it is. It's
Yeah,
like
it
it's
is.
just before they had video games.
Yeah.
It's like it's basically you write a whole video game and then you pick out some fucking characters
Yeah.
and then you like roll dice.
Yeah, dude.
Anime, same thing. It's
Yeah.
like this should be. I mean, it's like this. It's art, you know.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
story
yeah.
involved. I should be able to enjoy it on some level,
We got
and then
big
you
ass
watch
titties
it,
on anime.
and you could just never get over the fact that you're watching anime.
Miko-san,
Right.
Seki, my pussycat.
Did you know
In
that
the
Commissioner
comics? I'm
Gordon
serious.
fucked his own daughter, and that's where?
Batman fucked Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Yeah, I remember that from the animated series. This is a comic book and wrestling podcast now, because you know what? There wasn't enough of them,
No.
and
not at all.
we thought who's going to be the balding, sure to be dead by 50 years old group of millennial men that would talk about wrestling as if it isn't bullshit for children.
Oh yeah, no, it's for adults now apparently.
Dude, I went to my friend. I was hanging with my friend. He was like, "I'm going to a barbecue this weekend. If you want to come," I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go to a barbecue."
Yeah.
And we're in the car on the way there, and he's like, "Yeah, so it's like a WrestleMania thing." I'm like,
Oh.
and it was all like, it was weird because I haven't been around.
Was it comics?
No.
No.
And I don't know.
Well, you were in LA?
The barbecue was great, but it was weird being around adult nerds
Yeah.
because they all have the same mannerisms.
Mhm.
And they just stay like that from like age 13 for the rest of their lives.
Right. Yeah, unlike us alpha big dick fucking savages.
Yeah, I was like just standing there drinking like a seltzer or whatever, and this
Yeah.
guy's like walking past me, speaking to no one in particular.
just nervously.
Just no, like he's just speaking to somebody, and I forget. He's like quoting Fury Road. He's like, to Valhalla, witness me. Witness me.
No.
Like just saying it out loud, and he must have been like 40 years old.
Oh my god.
And it was just like, I mean, I don't want.
Yeah, I can hear you.
How's it going, deputy?
I'm fucking drinking some nasty, disgusting beer right now. This shit sucks. Have you ever had an IPA before?
Yes.
What do you think about them?
What do you call that? Too bitter. Too bitter, I would say.
I agree. It's not really the bitterness that gets me, though. It's like the mix of sweetness with it. I think that is foul. Sorry, my chair is making a bunch of noise.
No, don't worry. It's not coming through.
Yeah, what's going on tonight, man?
I'm not much of a beer drinker, so I wouldn't be able to like say anything more like precisely about it. So, deputy, I don't know if you remember John Foot Penis, but he's saying hi.
Who?
John Foot Penis.
I don't think I do remember him.
He's happy to hear from you.
Who the fuck is that?
I mean, you may have interacted. You may have interacted with him before. He's a guy with
Tell
a
him get
great
a
voice.
pawn. Tell him get a pawn here, dude.
I told him, but he's rewatching Stranger Things for the 10th time. He's probably with his wife or something.
Oh, that's fucking lame, dude.
Well, he did tell me that his wife looks like Lara Croft, so
And not the wife thing, the Stranger Things thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No, definitely. That's fucking gay. That is.
Yeah, that's pretty lame. But I can't say shit. I have watched Twilight more in my life with my girlfriend than I ever have.
By yourself.
Yeah. No, we both fucking love that movie. I think the first Twilight movie is fantastic.
It's a very fun movie. Like, if you watch them as sort of like comedy movies that are taking themselves seriously, it's some of the best. It's some of the best cinema you can find. Like, dude, especially in the third one.
Fucking dickhead the entire time. It's so funny.
Yes, like he's so fucking emo for no fucking reason. I mean, I know he's a vampire and everything, but just the way that he like acts and talks.
And there's a Confederate soldier in the family for no reason. They didn't have to do that.
No, but he has to be there. Okay.
Yeah, it's really pertinent to the story.
Because everybody got to get a second chance. That's what it is about, right? Everybody gets a chance to have a family, to be loved, even a Confederate soldier. I think maybe that's what they were trying to get across.
Actually, more than the first movie. I liked a lot of those movies, actually.
Because the third movie, to me, is the best. Nobody ever seems to
What's the third one?
It's when Jacob becomes enamored with Bella's and Edward's unborn daughter. And he decides that, you know what? This is the person that I'm going to fuck. Bella, I wasn't actually in love with you. I was in love with what was with one of your ex and some of Edward's undead cum. Which I don't know how that works.
But he was actually mad about nicknaming her daughter after the Loch Ness Monster, not the fact that he's an absolute pedophile.
Exactly.
A pre-pedophile, even.
Yeah, exactly. It's pre-pedophile. Yeah. She wasn't even out the womb yet, and he was already licking his chops. You know, this guy. You're talking about grooming.
He was on team.
Grooming, dude. He groomed the mom to fuck the daughter. You know, that's the next level grooming. You know, ripping up the mom so the daughter comes out trying to fuck. There you
It's
go.
ingrained in the DNA.
Well, you know what? If you've ever had dogs, you know dogs will fuck anybody. Okay. So,
Yeah,
you know,
dogs. Male dogs fuck male dogs all the time.
yeah, and you know, if you live a male dog with his mom, daughter, sister, whatever, he's gonna fuck her. At some point, there's gonna be some fucking going on.
That's literally how dog breeds happen.
Mm-hmm.
All like purebred dogs are inbred.
There you go. So I think maybe that's why it wasn't weird for them, because Jacob was like, "Oh, you know what? He's a fucking dog." You know. It's
No,
fucking
I
dogs.
feel like we're looking too deep into it. I think it's just a weird romance plot.
No,
By a-
it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
It's fucking weird, dude. And the fact that it was written by a woman, come on. Like, what were you
Yeah,
what were you thinking about, lady? You know, with this whole making a grown ass man be in love with a baby.
But he wasn't, dude. He was like fucking the high school age or something.
It's still, dude. Make a high
And not
schooler to bang a baby.
not that Edward was over 100 years old and was trying to fuck this like 16-year-old.
That is so true. Only because he doesn't look the age, which once again just proves that it's all about how you look. It's not about your age. It's not about anything else. If you're ugly, you don't get a chance. Okay, if you're good looking, you get the money, you get the wrist, dude, you can be 150 years old and fuck some 17-year-old coochie, and nobody's gonna have an issue. And people are gonna become fans of you. Actually, what would
They're gonna
happen?
fight about who's better.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the better pedophile?
Who's better, the guy that turns into a dog but is age appropriate, or the guy that watches the chick sleep because he cannot sleep and he's 150 years old?
You're older, so you definitely remember like the cultural phenomenon
Oh fuck
that
yeah,
was.
dude! I saw the first one in the movies, and I was laughing so hard throughout that whole movie. The first time I saw it, I was like, "No way, this is real." When Edward did the apple thing in the cafeteria, I was like, "No fucking way, dude!" I was laughing so
You know
hard.
what I said when I saw that scene? I was like, "Fuck you, Spider-Man could have done it better."
My brain was like, wait, did they actually think this was cool, or are they doing like a parody and not telling anybody, you know? And then also when Bella goes into the classroom and he's there and he looks at her, he literally looks like he's about to come. He's in his pants.
It's like she fucking stinks. It looks like she smells like shit.
Yeah. This fucking guy, dude. It was so funny. Hey, what's up, Joy Boy? How are you doing? Joy Boy, do you like the Twilight movies?
He better.
Yeah. And then also the running. Damn, the running had me
Dude.
just bending over, you know? Just it broke me. It broke me.
Have you ever seen the parody movie of the Twilight movies?
The vampires suck? Yes.
Yeah. That was not as funny as the original Twilight movie.
Exactly. It was. Do you like the movies? Nice. We're talking about the Twilight movies and how fun they are, actually. Hey! What's up, Joy Boy?
Hello?
Hello?
What up?
How's it going?
Are you good?
So... Now, dang it. Okay, I took a real good hit of that apple. Joy
That's
Boy,
like a week-old apple, by the way.
No,
I'm
this
sure
is-
that's
no, no. Stop. Stop lying, okay? This is only 2 days old.
It's not a lie, it's speculation.
It's not. It's not. Because I have done it before you came around with your rules and regulations about how old an apple
Yeah,
must be.
whatever. I'm a fucking fed here to enforce the rules.
You always bring in the white man's rule.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch ass Mashika. Fuck you.
See how this guy with his fair skin and red as the sun, beautiful hair, comes
That
in
is
here.
not what my hair looks like. My hair looks like fucking frayed copper wire.
No, your hair is beautiful. Okay, I'm not gonna accept you
remnants of a
slandering
crackhead
your
brain.
hair. You have great hair, okay, and a great
I do not.
mustache.
I used to have much better hair.
Me,
Who's this fucking new guy? Who are you, man?
Joey, he found the stream yesterday, I think.
No shit.
Yeah, but I think you're from France, right, Joy Boy?
I'm from Morocco.
Morocco?
You say Morocco? Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, me neither. I did you say America or did you say something else?
No, it's Africa. Morocco.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morocco.
Oh, nice. Which part of Africa?
Mm. Wait.
West? Hello?
Hello. Wait.
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying. Whoa. Stream, come on.
Oh, I thought somebody else joined. I'm fucking
Oh,
stupid.
North Africa, Morocco. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Morocco, I've heard that's like a very nice place. Like beautiful place. Morocco. Let me look it up.
Not to
Oh,
be
yeah.
offensive, but compared to a lot of Africa, yeah. That's also what
Yeah.
I've heard.
I speak French and Spanish, but little English.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Damn, that sucks.
You're doing pretty good. And I also speak Spanish. So that makes it easier. Yeah, nice to meet you, Joy Boy. Un gusto en conocerte.
Thank you very much.
So, what are you? Do you have any hobbies? Things that you like doing?
Don't understand.
Hobbies is like activities that you find pleasure in doing. Like painting could be a hobby, drawing could be a hobby, playing video games could be a hobby, going out walking,
Just
going
say
to the
it
gym.
Yeah. Wait.
En español, por favor.
Well, you may feel free to give your opinion at any point whenever me and Deputy Dunger are we're talking about something wild, feel free to interject. In any language you may prefer, we will figure it
I won't.
out. I mean, I don't know French, but
I would like to know French.
yeah, I would like to know all the languages. Fuck it,
I wouldn't.
At least I would like to know Chinese. Give me some
I don't
Chinese
want to.
Mandarin.
I don't want to communicate with Russians. Fuck those people. I don't want to communicate with. Mm, let me think about it. Let me think about my hatred, real quick.
Wait, Joey Boy is telling me that he is a cake manager on cake platforms with Moroccan streamers. Oh, okay, that's very nice. Do you make like those novelty cakes and stuff, or are you more into the actually making a good tasting cake?
You're
Also, what's your
baker?
favorite cake? Yeah. Also, like, how long have you been baking and stuff? That's interesting. It's very interesting. And cake is delicious. Like, look at me. I love cake.
I dislike cake.
What? All cake. Come on. That's not possible. That is not
I don't
possible.
like sweets. I don't like sweets in general. And cake is my least favorite thing to eat that's sweet. I like cookies way better.
I cannot believe it. But you know what? I understand. You're a man. You're a man. You don't like sweets.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like I don't. My teeth were fucked up from a really early age, so I was like scared of sugar.
Okay, I get it. So you probably like cake, but the trauma is not letting you enjoy it because you're thinking about how the sweetness.
I don't really enjoy cake. It's just bread.
No, maybe you haven't eaten like a good cake.
I have had so many fucking good cakes. What's your favorite kind of cake?
Japanese ones, the ones that are like really fluffy.
What flavor is that?
Vanilla, chocolate. I don't know. I'm not into the technicalities of cake. I just like eating it. Okay, but I really don't know anything about the topic. Like,
Well, every birthday cake I've ever had was German chocolate.
Oh my God! Now you are flexing on us.
German chocolate cake is like light chocolate flavor with like I forget what the fucking glazing is called, but it's full of like pecans, I think, some kind of nut. But it's like a caramel nut.
What do you think about that, Joy Boy?
Yeah.
What is your professional opinion on what Deputy Donger is saying?
I'm kick moderator. You say?
Was that in French? Did you say that in French?
Sí, yes, French moderator. I speak French.
I'm sorry, I don't know French, but it sounds good. It sounds like you said something good, but I just couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna work out on the language barrier. At some point, we're gonna have to make it work, so we can actually have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Let's use the AI. Okay, how about we do this? I can use ChatGPT. You can type out what you want to say. Then I use ChatGPT, and we say it in English. And now we can have a conversation. It's going to take a little bit longer, but I think it would be worth it because you have some interesting knowledge, I'm sure, about the cake making business and whatever things that you like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so feel free, if you want to do it, I have ChatGPT open here, and I'm ready to translate the shit out of anything that you type in. You know what I mean?
But you do understand English, right?
Huh? What?
You do understand English, like you
Yeah, but little.
or,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
okay.
That's good, because you only have trouble maybe like finding the words to say what you are thinking,
Yeah.
but you understand what we are saying. So that's good. That's good. That's a good start. You can practice English with us. We're gonna make you an English speaking person. 6 months. Give us 6 months. Me and Deputy Dunker together. You know, we taught this guy from Spain some English, and we got him talking. And that was like in what, like an hour call or something? Like a 1 hour call?
Well, he also understood like spoken English, but couldn't speak it himself.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was
That
a fun
That
call.
was very fun. I live for those type of interactions, to be honest. I love meeting new people and then getting the people that I already know acquainted with those people, and then just making the possibilities of everybody just getting along even better. Because that just means more friends getting along. You know what I mean? It's like Deputy Dunker and you, Casey.
Yeah, we speak a different language, me and him.
Mm-hmm. But they became friends. They became good friends. Wait,
And I don't know about friends.
Come on, you need friends. Let me see if he's online.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I love his new channel. I think it goes well with him. King with. Although I will always know him as UKC. I'm always gonna know him as UKC.
I haven't seen him stream.
Did you see his new channel? Do you follow him on there?
Yeah, when's the last time he was on?
2 days ago. Let me see if
Oh.
it's. Let me see if it's online right now. UK. Come on over.
Yeah, he better pull up.
Deputy Dunger is here, and he misses you. No homo. We gotta let him know. We gotta let him know it's no homo. Ryan, stop being gay. Come over.
Yeah,
I
Ryan,
really
you
want
mentioned
you.
him.
Yes, I want you to meet Ryan. It's fucking Ryan, dude.
I'm smoking a joint.
Let's go. Are you outside?
Yeah. As of right now. I'm making the most of it before my state completely gets rid of the good shit that we have.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, until when do you have?
It is going to happen.
You think so?
Yeah, because it already passed in the in the Senate, I think. Our senators voted on that shit because they were following Texas. Texas already had like a proposed ban on it, on THCA, and their people like vetoed it, but ours are not going to because prison makes them more money than weed tax, I guess.
You know, I don't know. All my life, weed has been illegal, and I've always consumed weed outside of the law. So I don't think that's gonna change much. You're right. It's like it's not like they're gonna get better at cracking down on weed. You know, just because
I know all the people at the fucking like new dispensaries that popped up after like I think it was like 2017, 2018 they started popping up. I wasn't old enough to buy it then, but like now I go to those places and they know me, so I'm sure they're gonna like tell me where to get good shit that they smoke.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not gonna die. It's like, come on. It's the same thing with like alcohol prohibition. It's like, okay, yeah, you can legally make it so that people cannot drink alcohol, but they're still gonna drink it. You know, they're gonna make
Yeah,
it.
they'll make it. They'll
But
make it even if it makes them go blind.
the prison has alcohol that people do prison. Like people are already in prison in probably one like there's very little other places where you have the type of level of supervision and control that you have going on in prisons, and they still manage to make illegal alcohol in there. You know?
It's not even bad either. It's just orange juice and like sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this one guy, because all the call centers here in my city are filled up with guys that got deported from the U.S. for one reason or another, and a lot of them have been in jail.
Yeah, we're not
So,
sending them to Mexico anymore.
well, those are because they are Mexicans. That's why they just got
A
deported
lot of
right over.
Mexicans don't get sent to Mexico anymore.
Are they gonna all be sent to El Salvador?
El Salvador, I've heard of people being sent to Morocco. People are being sent to something called Alligator Alcatraz now in Florida because they
Yeah,
just fucking made that.
but that one is more like a detention center, right? It's just like a layover. It's like a layover.
It's supposed to be. I'm assuming it's probably going to be something more similar to Guantanamo.
You think so?
Guantanamo is already being used to house illegal immigrants, supposed illegal immigrants. U.S. citizens have been sent away.
Damn. Because I'm kind
Yeah,
of on the
fuck Trump. Trump's gay.
Because like the thing is, I'm on the side that thinks El Salvador and Bukele is doing a good job because I live in Mexico and I wish somebody that has the power to like stop at least like most of the criminals, like the big time criminals, would come and do it, right? Because it's like everybody knows where the where the guys from like the cartel or the mafia operates within the city. So obviously the government must know, right? It's like it's some
Yeah, El Salvador like completely
one
they cut their crime rate.
the what? Oh yeah, they cut their crime by by great levels. By just putting people in jail that deserve to be in jail. There's a bunch of people here in Mexico that deserve to be in jail and should be outside, should be removed from society because they really do not bring anything good to society. And if they did, then the people that actually want to follow the rules, the people that want to play the game correctly, the people that want to do things legally, then they would be able to do it and not be disturbed by the guys that want to be outside of it. Look, Joy Boy, this is what I'm wearing today, which is nothing. I mean, nothing outside of the. It's literally just a shirt.
So nice.
Deputy, I cannot hear you, but you don't appear to be muted. I don't know if there's something going on with your mic. Yep. He'll come back in a bit. French seems like a really difficult language to learn when it comes to like understanding for me. Like understanding like what are words. It sounds so different from anything that I know.
Mm,
What is your mother language?
mother name.
No, your mother language. So your first language. What is your like the language that you learned when you were a child? Do you learn French first?
My French is wait, minutes.
Just for example, my mother language is Spanish. So my first language that I learned as a child was Spanish. And then as a second language I learned English. In my country we don't read English in school. So what language did you learn first? My first language is Spanish. Wait. I make a lot of mistakes when I'm typing.
I speak
Arabic.
Arabic.
Oh, wow. What? Good. What? So Arabic. Well, is there different kinds of Arabic, or just one? Just I don't know. Is it like the Chinese language? They have variations depending on the regime. Ah, okay. So, what type of Arabic did you learn first? It makes sense because Morocco is Morocco like a primarily Muslim nation.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I love talking to people from different countries because I get to look at the map. I get to look at the map and I don't like geography or anything like that, but it's just fun whenever you're looking at something and you're not just looking at it because you have to look at it, but you actually get some information from it. You know, so like talking to you, for example, and you're like, okay, I'm from Morocco, and then I'm looking like
Mm,
Morocco geography, right? And then I look at the maps, and I feel like it sticks more in my brain. Like it just becomes more real, more important. Morocco, and then Egypt. You guys are at a great place because it's the Gibraltar Strait is right there. So, are the Moors from Morocco? Were they from Morocco? Moors from Morocco. Hi, Deputy Dunker.
Hello?
Hello.
What the fuck was going on?
I don't know. At some point, you lost completely. Like you went completely silent, and I just didn't hear you.
Damn.
Very happy to meet you. I'm very happy to meet you too, Joy Boy. So, did you have anything did you try to say anything about what we were talking before? I mean, hey, I'm ready to listen.
Oh, me? No.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay.
It is good to have you here, dude. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Here it's like a party here. You like having people over?
You get it? The more.
Look at this. Looking at the map.
That was a
right
stupid
now.
joke. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at the map and I'm like thinking about, wasn't like Atlantis past the Strait of Gibraltar, so it would have been like around here, right? It would have been here like in the middle.
No. No, Atlantis was supposed to be closer to Greece.
So it would have been in the middle of the Mediterranean?
Yeah. At least at the time it was devised.
Really? Then it would make
I'm pretty
sense.
sure. I could be totally wrong, though.
Well, it could make sense in a way. But I do remember it said past the Strait of Gibraltar. Or maybe I'm wrong. But I want to imagine that it was here. Look at me. Disregard the information. And damn it. Why do the Greeks get to get all the cool stuff?
They don't. They have a shitty accent. Kind of a shitty language now.
No, but they
They have
cool
disgusting
OG.
genetics. Stavros Halkias is Greek. What a disgusting guy.
Yeah, but he's like from like those guys that were half goat. He's from that line, I think. So that's why he looks, because he looks a lot like the guy that trained Hercules in the Disney movie.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, but taller, you know?
He looks like an Italian.
Yeah, he looks kind of Italian. We don't even
That's
know
why I
if the
fucking
guy's
hate
actually
Italians.
Greek. You don't know if they're Greek secretly. This guy Italian is keep trying to fuck me, you know?
Italians are kind of Greek.
They are. I mean, there was a lot of fucking done in the past, so they must be at least cousins. One time removed, probably.
And in the culture, I mean, where did the Italians get all of their shit? Where did the Romans get their shit?
Yeah, exactly. They even got the same gods. They just named them differently.
Yeah. They did that with a lot of things, actually.
Yeah.
They did that with the Gauls, too.
In Christianity as a whole, a lot of the saints and stuff are just Christianized versions of pagan guys.
I'm not sure there's another more Catholic country.
Because
Italy.
Mexico would be a close second.
That's weird. That's really weird to me.
But Mexico is prime example of certain symbological elements of the religion that was originally in place here being translated almost directly into Christian or Catholic versions of it.
Yeah. The same thing happened with Ireland.
Yeah.
When Christians came over there and like fucked all their shit. And Iceland. Iceland is a really good example of that. Because like fucking it's a like crazy number of people. Like 60% of Iceland still like believes in elves or something.
Yes. I fucking love them. They must know something that we don't.
Yeah.
They're gonna get proven right. They're gonna get proven right.
On that part of the world, there's like an interdimensional
Yes,
Really?
there has to. There has to. Have you been to the
I think
Grand
probably
Canyon?
the same thing happened with the Mayans and Aztecs,
Yep. Yep. The Grand
if
Canyon.
that is the case.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon? Physically.
What'd you say?
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
No.
That place is one such place where you can feel the distortion. Like, it's too big of a place. It feels like it shifts reality around you. For real. Like, you can.
And there's like places where you can go like to the top and to the bottom of it within like maybe 2 hours of a hike.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see both aspects of it, and it's probably a totally different vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But there are places in the Grand Canyon where you cannot go. Have you seen the naming conventions of certain places in the Grand Canyon? Look at this. Grand
Dude, are you
Canyon.
about to hit me with a fucking conspiracy theory about the Grand Canyon?
No. It's not conspiracy theory because it's fact, baby. Look at this. I want to show it on the stream. Okay, Grand Canyon. Then we're gonna look ISIS. There you go, baby. There you go. And it's not the only one. There's a bunch of places in the Grand Canyon that are named ISIS Temple, Buddha Temple, Shiva Temple. It is not the only one. There's a bunch of places like that. Zoroaster Temple, Brahma Temple, Confucius Temple, Dragon Head, Point Sublime. Right, see, and look, you guys see this too. Before and after Greek launch point. Since we're talking about the Greek. We're gonna see that one. Okay. And then we're going to see before and after Mexican. Logical sites. So, for example, we look at this place. See, it doesn't look like much, right? The top picture, you're like, just some geological formation. Turns out, there's a whole thing built in there. It's not the only place like that. Look at this. There's another place in Greek. Same thing. Obviously, if you have people just cutting down stuff, like here in Mexico, this place would just be trashed. And they would just retrieve a bunch of like just broken stone, and people would be like, well, it's a shitty place, you know?
Bunch of rocks over here.
Just a bunch of rocks, you know? Then you look at something like this, for example. Even this, I mean.
That's one of the only places in Mexico I would like to go, is like Tenochtitlan and shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like historical sites, and I like going there and like
that's
seeing
it.
it.
That's the reason why I want to go to certain parts in Asia too. But I don't want to mess with anything else. You know? I'm the same way, like Cambodia.
Yeah, I just want to go there and see it.
Look at this place, for example, too. It just looks like a mound there. Has some agaves over here. You don't even know there's this whole thing, right? You have no regulations.
There's tons. Do you know anything about like
look at this
U.S. Native Americans?
Bunch of shit. Yes. They also have the mounds.
They actually just built piles of dirt.
I know, but that's what they say, right? Because then
no, they are actually just piles of dirt with fucking human remains in them.
Oh yeah, but that's for the giants, dude. You don't know the whole thing, dude. That's why I'm telling you.
I know exactly what it is. It's just a bunch of people moving a bunch of dirt into one fucking place.
No.
But it's crazy to look at. I've seen them accidentally.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I remember like going past one. I can't remember where it was, but I was with my grandparents and they were like, "Yeah, uh that's where the natives used to bury their dead." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? On that giant hill? Why?" And they were like, "Yeah, they built it around them pretty much." And I was like, "What?"
Look at this place. So this is the so-called Isis Temple in the Grand Canyon.
That's
Obviously
just the
now
Grand Canyon.
it
You
doesn't
you
look
cannot
like much.
make a separate thing in the Grand Canyon. That is just the Grand Canyon.
I mean, now it is. That's it. That's what it is.
That shit is. That's one of the greatest geological wonders of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a little more impressive than like Everest.
Let me see if I can find it because I don't remember. But there's this place, and I think it's in Egypt. And I would like to show it to you because it shows how you can get a place that's completely built look something like this. And you can only get that comparison in that one very perfectly because you can see both things at the same time. You can see the parts of it that are so old that are just becoming dust, and it starts to look like what you see in the Grand Canyon. But you also see the parts that still remain in good condition, and that looks like, okay, yeah, obviously this is a built thing, right?
The Grand Canyon is not something that was built.
No, of course not. I would never say that.
I hope not.
No, that's not what I was. Not the Grand Canyon itself, but there's a reason why those places are called that.
But nobody would build anything in it because they knew how fucking powerful that shit was.
Look, we're gonna get into the Giant 3 conspiracy at some point in my stream.
No.
We will, because
Dude,
how is it
what do you
possible?
think that is?
Look, this is a tree. This is a real tree.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Because this is a tree, okay? But how can we have this where we can see how it's shaped, how it breaks, right? How it forms. And then we have places like this that we are told are just volcanic extrusions.
Yeah, that's
It's
what it is.
obviously just a giant tree. That's
No,
just
it's just a very specific volcanic activity site that is no longer active.
No, he refused.
That's in Wyoming, the thing you were just on.
I know, that's the Devil's Tower. I'm just saying, look, these are the trees that are only like a few thousand years old. Some of them are only like 1,500 years old. What would happen?
But if you look at the geology of Wyoming, it makes perfect sense why that kind of volcanic thing would happen right there.
Perfectly shaped like a tree.
It does not look like a tree, really, at all.
First of all, we're gonna look at tree stump.
I know what a fucking tree stump looks like. Don't take me for a fool. That is not a fucking tree. I'm sorry.
This looks like a fucking giant tree. It has
a tree.
It has
just
the
isn't.
growth rings. It has the growth rings. Look at this. You can even see
My fucking yard does that.
It looks exactly like this, but bigger, and obviously now turning to some kind of rock. But it's the same thing. It's only like
Trees don't turn into rocks ever.
only if they're fossilized.
That's not how that would happen. It wouldn't be sticking out like that.
Look at this. Let's look
That's
at some
not how that works.
actual fossilized wood.
Yeah, but it would be buried
Wow,
underground.
Wow, this wood right here that's fossilized looks a lot like rock. It even has the
It
same
is rock.
growth.
It is rock. That's petrified wood. That's been underground.
So you're telling me this is not petrified wood then?
The Devil's Tower is not petrified wood. It has been above ground for longer than basically anybody who's been alive.
I am just worried with collecting the information. I look, guys. There's a reason why I hate academics. No, not the guy that makes the music. I mean, people from the academia. Okay.
That's why I'm getting into fucking witchcraft.
Exactly. See, and you're over here trying to defend something that they have made for us to obfuscate the reality of the world. Because think about what you would think that is possible if you realize that a lot of the geographical formations around you are either the remains of very, very old, extremely immense constructions, and in some cases of fossilized beings. I'm talking about bones, I'm talking about trees, right? At some point, the earth was able to have that magnitude of living beings existing.
We did have like mega flora.
Exactly. That's it. But you see, they give us the timeline is wrong, right? The whole way that they present it, it's like, oh, you can have dinosaurs, but you cannot have dragons. But then everybody in antiquity is talking about dragons at some point.
In different ways.
Yeah, but they all agree that they are real at some point. In some point, at some point it does become myth, but it started from something real, right? But it gets dismissed because those fucking people from the ancient world, they don't know. Maybe they were looking at some very advanced ship or something, and so they didn't know what they were talking about. Yet those people are the same that created such magnificent constructions that they still stand today. That they still stand today, thousands of years after they've been abandoned. They've been underground. They resurfaced again. They get flooded. They get hit with all kinds of abuse, and they still stand. They still look magnificent. They still look so magnificent that their bones, their decayed remains, are something that we look at it and it still causes reverence in us. And the people that were living there 1,000 years ago, a lot of them, they don't even claim to have built it. They are very clear that those things were built by even a previous civilization, right? So we have been going down, and look at where we are at globally. We're definitely at our, damnest, and the lowest that we have ever been.
No,
yes.
That's wrong. I'm gonna go get another beer, but remind me about the fucking statue that wept every morning. It let out a nasty scream. I think it was in Egypt.
I think there was also another one in some European country some years ago, one that cried. I'm gonna look something else up. Joy Boy, are you enjoying the conversation?
I'm back.
He's not ready. He's not ready.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, so this is what some people call star forts. Now there are certain cities around the world, and some that are used as just like military installations or even the base of the Statue of Liberty that were built in very like geometrically perfect shapes. Right? And this is all around the world.
Wouldn't say perfect, but
Yeah.
definitely like strange looking.
So they did this all over the world. Now there's this webpage where they have compiled basically all of the places in the earth that have those type of star forts. It is literally all over the world, well, except Russia and some parts of Africa. But look here, look at, for example, like all of Europe, all over America. So you have things like this, right? Then you also
So that
have-
makes me think about the timeline.
exactly
Did it just stop after like
the 1700s, I think.
no, like going that far west, it would probably be like 1870?
Maybe. Now there's some Japanese underground pyramids. I mean underwater pyramids. Here are some
Well, the
pictures.
Japanese are a very notoriously mysterious culture.
Mm-hmm. But look at this. Look at the size of this guy compared to this. This was all at some point above ground. Now, how many of this type of places have just completely been lost to time, right? And engulfed by nature, just like we saw in the first pictures, which is the reason why I showed those first pictures. It's just to show how unassuming it can look if you're not looking with the right mindset, right? And I'm coming this from perspective of having gone into some places even here around in my city, and I've been looking at those things, and it's like, this is petrified wood. This is, I'm literally seeing the difference between the inner wood with the different grain and the outer wood, like the hardened part. It's like I've seen the sequoias in, like I've gone there too, and I see like I see the fossilized remains over here, and I'm like, this is definitely the same tree. Obviously, this one has had a lot more time to just grow. Did you guys know that California the novel describes a mythical island named California ruled by the Amazonian queen Calafia? Now, this is from a 16th century novel. The place is the place is described as having giant trees, which, I mean, we already saw the redwoods, but we're gonna see it again. Just to sort of like, take it home. Take home just how big trees can get. And these are not even the biggest ones. Because if you look at this, redwoods, 1800s. look at this, for example. Like, look just how big this shit was, and they cut
Yeah.
down a
An
lot
entire
of.
like generation of people
Mhm.
in the crosscut.
Look at this. This one is even bigger, right? And they cut some of the bigger ones. So the ones that we have are the junglings. That's what I'm saying, right?
No, they are not.
Yes, they are. I mean, compared to the ones that they cut
Those
down,
trees haven't been around long enough to get that big.
exactly. But the ones that they cut down had been around long enough to
They
get
had not.
as big as they were.
They had not. As the Devil's Tower, they did not have long enough as a species. That tree did not even evolve to be that kind of tree.
I mean,
Like, there was
could
no
be a
tree
different-
that
it
big.
It could be a different type of tree that's just like this one is an offshoot. That's a smaller one.
We
That's
would
already
know.
has happened.
We would know that it's a tree.
Not if they're trying to hide it,
But
because that changes. That changes.
the natives around it did have that, like,
Everybody talks about giant trees in all the mythologies of the world. Why? Because they exist.
not a fucking giant tree, dude.
Everybody talks about a giant tree everywhere. Everybody knows about the world tree.
Everybody does talk about a giant tree. There is always a giant tree in every mythology.
Because they existed. We're talking about something that is literally
They 100% did not.
in our DNA. Yes. I know you want to be a
We would
devil's
know.
advocate. I don't care.
We would
I'm
know.
just showing people the information that is already available. It's not. I'm not showing you anything that is not there. You know, I'm not showing you anything that's like, oh, this is made up. No, I'm literally showing you. You know, let's look at this. This one is also one of my favorite.
Not a giant tree.
It's not about giant trees. This one is about the LiDAR images that were obtained a few years ago of the Amazon rainforest. And it turns out the whole Amazon rainforest is filled to the brim with ancient cities.
Yo,
Imagine that.
so is Appalachia.
Now, have you guys ever noticed how long it takes for current day government with top of the line technology to fix any sort of infrastructure damage? You know, how long does it take for people to build shitty apartments? They're gonna fall down in less than 10 years. Now,
At least 10 years.
imagine the type of engineering minds, right? The type of specialized knowledge that is needed to build cities that 5,000 years later are still standing. No care, no nothing. Nothing that we build today will stand the test of time like that. Look at this.
We don't know that.
Oh, man. Look, everybody was doing it all over the world. Yeah, they had a flair. Different parts of the world had a different flair, but the basics are shared all across the world, even in Europe.
If society falls today and like a human extinction event happens, what part of America do you think is going to last the longest?
Probably the people that live in the mountains and that are already accustomed to being almost 100% self-sufficient.
I would say Mount Rushmore is probably going to stand the longest.
Yeah. Yeah, but that would be the one thing, maybe, right? But that would be just like the guys doing this.
Yeah,
But this is more cool than Mount Rushmore.
I agree. It has more artistic integrity.
Exactly, and it's a much more intricate technology and knowledge, right? Because that's look. Once you start trying to learn stuff, you realize just how hard it is to learn new stuff, And then you look at the temples that people were building, the cities that people were building back in the day, and you think like those people must have had some goddamn minds to be able to build something like this and build it so good that it can stand for thousands of years through wars, through natural disasters, nothing. Like there's no like some places have literally been unearthed, right? And it's like
it could be because of the fact that they thought it would. They thought it would last a fucking 1,000 years.
Because they were building with that mindset. And when do you build with the mindset to do things that will last for generations? When you are working for your people, when humanity is united and everybody is doing their best because you're thinking about the next generation, because you have love in your heart for the other people around you, and you understand that working together to build something that lasts is better than everybody being atomized and at the mercy of a few bullies around that have no qualms, just fucking everybody over as long as they get what they want. Right? This is the way. But obviously, look, people may believe, may not believe. I don't really care. I've gotten to the point where I understood it. And I'm trying to, in some sort of way, reignite the feeling in people that will take humanity to the point where we're going to be able to retake this. Because we have the technology. We could be doing it. We're just not doing it because everybody is worried about, oh, well, how am I going to get paid or whatever, right? Instead of just creating a better world. But whatever. Look, it doesn't matter. The only reason why I'm so invested in this type of stuff, it's because it really shows to me that there is an aspect of our past as humans that is not revealed to us honestly, and that's been kept from us. Because if we start thinking like this, the places like this, they are beacons of hope. They are constructed like that. If you look at the psychology of architecture, you realize why they were so invested in creating beauty in the real world. Is literally bringing the heavenly realm into the earth. That is when you are building with that mindset. And that goes not only for the people in India from the past, that goes for the European cathedrals, which were doing the same thing. Now, you look at the shapes that they use, and a lot of it is just perfect geometry, and then you get into the mandalas, or you get into sound being
They used to have artists
reality.
working on architecture.
Yeah, you should be, like
Architecture used to be artistry.
Yeah, it's the meaning point, because artistry, it's not what they give us now, which is just debauchery and people doing fuck knows what with a lot of drugs, right? That's not art. Real art is discipline as it is creativity
and study.
It's almost like martial arts, but for your mind. That's why
You have to think about it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta have a really clear mind. You gotta be insightful. You obtain wisdom whenever you do art like that, because you connect with God. Connecting with your own creativity is connecting with the spark of the divine. That's why it's important, but that's also why it's been diluted and it's been turned into something completely different from what it is.
There are still real artists.
No, of course. But they're not the ones making anything, probably.
Yeah. They didn't make the World Trade Centers. I'm glad those fuckers got blew up. As an American, I don't even care.
Hey, what's going on, Bish Pudding? How's it
Who
going?
pulled up?
I'm winding down my Sunday, my Domingo. How you guys doing?
I'm very good, Bish Pudding. Nice to see you. Beach Pudding, this is Deputy Dunger. Deputy Dunger, the Beach Pudding.
What up, bud?
Joy Boy, this is Beach Pudding. Beach Pudding, this is Joy Boy.
Yeah, I think I've actually met both of these people at least once before.
I do not remember you.
It's okay. I remember you.
Thank you.
But yeah, were you here
good.
before? Or did you just arrive? Like, were you
just
watching the stream
arrived.
before? Oh, okay.
No. I was playing games.
Oh, okay, then you didn't hear. You didn't hear any. Well, just different. We're gonna change topics, guys. But
Keep going with whatever topic you like. I don't care.
no, not because of you. Just because you literally arrived at the end of when I was closing on the topic.
Yeah, the very long tirade that happened.
Yeah.
Was it an argument against something? That's usually how.
No, never an argument in this chat.
No,
not an
we
argument.
never argue.
Maybe a long treatise about what this thing is not, how it doesn't work.
Yes, somehow it was. Look, so I was showing them different places around the earth where
Here we fucking go again.
where it
No, I'm not trying to read.
seems
Sorry.
like there
I'm just fucking
is
around. I'm sorry.
that there is some sort of like alternate understanding that we can get from it. I talked about giant trees and the ancient civilizations, etc., etc. That was what we were on before. Well, I was.
For sure.
I was
man.
just
Mexico
taking them
is
on that ride.
Full of ancient civilization, especially the past 300-400 years. The Spanish shit that's still standing is amazing that it's still fucking standing.
The fuck the Spanish shit.
Oh, you're talking about like the Aztec, Olmec?
Yeah, actual ancient shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
well, yeah.
We were talking
that
about-
far north. I don't know if we're. I don't
No,
know if
north
we're cheats that
doesn't
there's
have
that many.
We don't have them, obviously, but through my own research and experience, guys, in my opinion, there are more than a few over here in the north, but they haven't been excavated because it doesn't fit the narrative. I'm gonna go with it. That's what it is. Okay.
Those bitch ass Spanish, dude. Fuck you, Carvajal. You cunt.
No, not even that. Fuck the.
No, it's the universities that choose where they want to dig and where they want to do shit. Honestly, I think that in that northern area, though, it's a little dry, and I don't think that these jungle civilizations went up that far.
No, the jungle people know, but we had our own people, the cool people of the
Sure,
north.
it's like essentially northern Native Americans who lived in the desert, like the Puebla people of Arizona and New Mexico, probably dipped down.
Yeah,
into
but
northern
imagine
Mexico.
if there was a point in time where it wasn't a desert. Where it was
That would have been
thriving.
far before humans.
Yes, according to academia,
We barely.
that is correct.
I know this is like way further south, but we barely know about the Incas.
Oh yeah,
Like-
the Incas are very interesting too, and the Incas aren't even the guys that were there when the
But
Spanish.
I'm just saying there's probably like forgotten civilizations, just like in America.
yeah.
A lot of the native
Yes.
tribes have probably been forgotten and just
Exactly.
totally died out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Just like a lot of them are in threat of having happened now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically dead. Come on. If not for tax purposes.
Ah, yeah, fuck the Navajo. They're fucking bullshit, dude. Cherokee.
A lot of them
Ah.
look like white guys. A lot of them look like white guys.
Well, of course, because they weren't stupid and they went to a bar and they got drunk and they fucked a white lady at some point. That's
Yo, don't even talk about natives getting drunk, dude. I live in Tennessee, so fucking our native
you guys
population
don't
is.
even have any natives anymore. Yes,
Huh?
didn't you send them on some sort of Trail of Tears?
No, we wouldn't do that. No, not Andrew
No.
Johnson. No.
No.
It's all about the tears, dudes. That's why.
No, they
It's
run some
fucking
pretty
messed up, man.
successful
They
casinos over
literally
there in NC.
roped- Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Please Say what you're
No, I
saying.
kind of cut you off. That was
It's
Very
Discord.
rude.
It happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Discord, guys. Why don't they call it Accord? You know, why Discord? What do you call Harmony?
Well, have you not read the stupid little messages they send you every time you log in about their history?
No.
Really? They send you little tidbits about their history. You know, it used to be called Bonfire back when it first started.
really
What?
Yeah, you guys don't read this stuff? Am I the only one
no.
who reads
Fuck
it?
no.
All right.
I barely know how Discord works.
All right.
So
fair
it
enough.
says here the concept of Discord came from Jason Sithron, who had founded OpenFine, a social gaming platform for mobile game, and Stanislav Vishnevsky, who
Wow,
had
That
founded
was, you butchered that.
Vishnevsky.
You say asocial?
No, Stanislav Vishnevsky, who had founded
All right.
Guildwork. Another social gaming platform. Citron sold OpenFame to Gree in 2011 for 104 million, which he used to found Hammer and Chisel, a game development studio in 2012. Wow. Wow, what a great investment. The first producer of Fates Forever released. Hey, what's going on, Klismer? Welcome. Okay. Do you notice how difficult it was for his team to work out tactics in games like Final Fantasy and League of Legends using available voice-over IP software? This led to the development of a chat service with a focus on user-friendliness with minimal impact on performance.
Okay,
The name
that's a lie.
Discord
User friendliness is definitely not the focus.
was chosen because it sounds cool
This shit
and
is
has the way
hard to
talking.
use. I'm
Yeah.
a old school Skype user, and that's like all I did. I didn't use it for gaming or
looks like
anything though.
Yeah, this
I'm
looks
Mexican.
like a programmer's idea of what a social network would look like. Because
So somebody that doesn't know how
social
social abilities work.
Someone that is
Yeah.
not social.
Yeah, someone who's not social made a social network, and they're like, "What? You guys don't understand the fucking drop-down menus and the terrible window sizes, and you don't get this? What?
And the
You don't
user
understand what
interface
3 dots in the middle of your fucking screen mean?
where
Oh,
you
my
cannot
bad.
find like any settings that you want to find and shit.
No,
It's amazing.
I have to research some of this bullshit. Just
Were any of you like privy to Skype when it was actually good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old enough.
Ooh.
Skype was the shit for like 5 years, and then
I'm only 24, by the
Maybe
way.
in like 2004, I started using Skype.
Holy shit. I started
You know what's
using Skype in like 2013, maybe.
Oh. Well, you are a little younger, so that's when you could have used it.
Yeah, I'm a young buck.
Don't you love the age verification? Like, put your birthday in as if no one's gonna fucking lie constantly. Like
Yeah.
other guys.
Mine was always 1999, no matter
Sure,
what.
Sure. Even I lied on it, and I didn't need to. I was of age, and I'm like, I'm not giving you my
Mine
actual
was
birthday.
always
Fuck you.
1991.
Yeah.
I did use my actual day so that it would send people a message when it was my birthday. Because I was a petty little bitch like that.
Well, it's been like 10 years now, so I think I can share this information. You know that Discord has a secret history that people don't talk about? This was actually used in the US military during the first invasion of Iraq. Like, this prototype is exactly what I used during the 2008-2009 version of entering into Iraq. We used this. I mean, it
Are you
wasn't
a
so
vet?
cute. There wasn't emblems. Yeah, there wasn't emblems and shit. But this is exactly what they said. It wasn't called Discord. It was called Bonfire at that point.
So it was some CIA shit. CIA Zoom calls, basically.
Makes sense.
It was a government contract
I mean, it
to
makes
develop
sense.
something that was secure to use amongst units.
Let's go, Joy Boy.
I don't know what that means.
So I guess communication in between like the teams.
Yes, because you don't use a regular internet if you're in country. You use what's called the CIPRNet, which is a closed no Wi-Fi, closed circuit, wired, because obviously you don't want anyone hacking into that. And
For
so
SecOps.
by doing so, they
OPSEC.
had to have a video chat, right? We can't use Microsoft Teams. That's broken into constantly. We can't use any of the big ones. And so they asked somebody, and they paid somebody a lot of money to make a social media platform just for the military. And it was called Bonfire at that time. And that's why I'm more comfortable with this than anything.
So you're either not supposed to say this, or
No, it's been 10
you're
years.
fucking crazy.
No, that's why it's been 10 years. And at 10 years, all those like secret, unclassified, it doesn't matter anymore at 10 years. Plus, this is
That's
not
not how the
public.
government works.
That's how it works.
Sometimes you have loopholes, but
Well,
the government be wild.
anyway, just a fun piece of trivia to stump your friends on.
I'll look it up, definitely.
Well, you can't look it up because it's not going to show up that way.
It'll be declassified in like 10 years, probably.
Well,
I'll look it up then.
classifications are 7 years for classified.
I mean, they
10
already
years for
classified
secret, and 12 for top secret.
that the Jews.
Are you
killed
actually a vet?
JFK, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you serve? Like, what branch? I mean,
I was in the Army. I was in Intel for 5 years. I did
Oh,
some
shit.
Afghanistan. I did some Iraq. I was all over the place. I'm old. I'm old as shit.
that kind of sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to do that.
Okay. I don't feel that bad. I'm okay.
It's your job.
I mean, I'm
your
an
job.
alcoholic, but
Yeah, that's the military.
Over
in
here, they
general,
just
it's been
become narcos.
narcos. Well, yeah. Well, Trump wants us to become like civilian peacekeepers, and that's a fucking disaster. Don't do that.
You think so?
Don't put people with high-powered weapons who are trying to kill in cities to. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, let's not have cops with fucking military grade firearms or
Humvees,
chemical
and tanks
weapons.
and- yeah, no. No, we don't use chemical weapons.
The American police absolutely use chemical weapons all the time. That's all they do.
They use pepper gas on you if you're protesting. And
That
if
is
you've ever been through basic
illegal in the
training-
terms of war.
Oh,
Really? Pepper gas?
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's called crowd control, and it's not against the genetic
Can't do it.
emotions. It's not.
You probably know better than I do. I'm sorry for talking shit.
No, it's fine. You're having a good time, but the CS gas is basically pepper gas, the same shit they're using in crowd control. When you go through basic training, they make you breathe it in because this is the most non-lethal.
Oh, the tear
version.
gas.
Yeah. Well, it's tear gas, but it's pepper based. Like there's some elements of pepper in there, and so you go in a chamber and you take your mask off, and they make
You're
you say some-
bullshitting.
No, not at all.
Elements of pepper?
Yes. Why do
It's
you
a
think they
chemical
call it-
weapon.
It's a chemical based on what chemicals would you make people cry with? Pepper in the eyes is easy. Why do you think pepper spray exists?
There's no way that fucking tear gas is the same thing as pepper spray.
Tear
Let me-
gas is
let's
a
look it
general
up.
term. I'm talking about specific elements, CS gas. You can look that up and you can see what it's made of. I'm not
Alright.
bullshitting you. I'm not lying. I don't lie about this kind of thing.
I'll look it up. I'm sorry.
All right, that's fine. I encourage you to challenge everything you hear and to look it up.
Because I know I'm fucking stupid, but
You're not
I
stupid.
didn't think I
you're
was that
just- you're-
stupid.
Wait, but the CS
There's a
gas
difference
is banned
between-
for use in warfare pursuant to the 1925 Geneva Convention Protocol.
I'm sorry, say again.
It says here that the CS gas is a tear gas used as a riot control agent and is banned for
Yeah.
use in warfare.
Well, damn, they fucking smoked us every basic training. We got smoked with that. So I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
for
get ready for
training
troops
people.
that don't give a shit about the Geneva Conventions.
All right.
Maybe it's different if you're using it for training people.
They're training us because they're teaching us the value of the gas mask.
Yeah,
So
they're
should I tell the
teaching,
story,
and they're
or is
also
this just
teaching you how to
boring
like get it
people? I don't
on
wanna-
fast.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. That is true because
I don't
it's
wanna- I
like
don't
it's
want-
the same thing with like punching people, right? Like you go into the military or some other place like
Yeah, you
that,
do
they're gonna
close
rough
combat
you up.
training.
The Marines
Yeah, you
use
punch.
fucking pugil sticks, and those do not do anything. That does not teach you how to do anything.
Have you ever gotten hit by a pugil stick?
Well, yeah, but nobody's using those, dude.
Oh man, they're not using them, but it's teaching. Okay, there's a value to this thing, this kind of training. I had the pugil sticks too, in AIT, Advanced Infantry Training. Basically, you're hitting somebody over the head with what looks like a Q-tip, right? They look
Yeah,
stupid,
John
right?
Cotton Swab.
It's like Greatest Gladiator bullshit. Kinda, yeah. However, it hits you with a force and it dazes you without concussions. That's why they use it, because we can't have concussions early, because you're going to
Yeah, I
get concussions
mean,
later from
yeah.
explosives. So they're not trying to rock them in training, but you get knocked around a little bit by one pugil stick from a dude who knows how to swing it. I got a concussion in training from not from a pugil stick, excuse me, but just from non-combatants training, because I won my first. What they did was they put you on your knees and they make you fight somebody, and they taught you a few techniques, and they're like, whoever wins moves on. Whoever wins moves on. It's like a pyramid thing. I'm not a big dude, man. I'm like 5'9". At that time, I think it was 170 pounds. And then they put me up against somebody who was like 6'2", like nearly 250-pound dude, because I won my first two. And then he fucking picked me up. I couldn't use my arms because he wrapped me up, and then he slammed me on the ground. This is just training. I got a concussion. And so I wandered off outside of the circle of our training, and I just sat there because I was done. I don't remember it very clearly, but I definitely got a concussion. And like, it's real. The training is real. The things they teach you are real.
It's
I
like
know
wrestling, right? Like wrestling, people
So
say
you're
it's
saying
not
it's more
real.
about getting battered. Like, learn how to deal with getting battered. Like,
learn how to deal
Exactly.
with pain,
Yeah.
because you're going to feel pain all the time if you're in the military. You want to carry a 40-pound rucksack across the world? It's fucking shitty. I did a 27-mile march when I got to my unit. 27 miles. All right, this is boring. I'll stop.
if you get your brain jostled like that and still function, I guess you're military
They're trying to
material.
show you what fog feels like.
I
Yeah.
once
Trying to, like-
I once
All right,
fell
I'm done.
off a
Sorry,
moving
guys.
car. No, it's good, but it just made me remember that I once fell off a moving car and fell like head first into the pavement, and I lost consciousness. Like, I don't remember what happened after that, but from what they told me, I was like talking to people and stuff. Like, I even like got into the ambulance like by myself, but I don't remember anything of that. Like, it was almost like somebody else, you know, like my body was functioning and like I was talking and doing stuff, but I was not there, you know. And then
Yeah. That's a
and
concussion for sure.
yeah, and then they did like the head scan, and I remember waking up when they were like carting me into the MRI thing, or I don't know, like that machine. And I just
Mhm.
kept like I opened my eyes, and it was like in those movies where like you see for like 1 second and you like and then you like just lose consciousness again, and you wake up again like later on. And I just
My-
I
my
completely woke up the next day.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what a concussion is. You have spattered, sporadic memories of the time from impact until you finally kind of shake out of it. They don't let you sleep for more than 3 hours because they don't want you getting into REM sleep. They kept waking me up. And honestly, I feel bad, but so I went to an AIT with females, and so I was driven to the clinic by females. Apparently, I was hitting on them. I don't fucking remember that. I honestly don't remember that.
I was saying the life was shit.
I
That
don't.
everybody was shit.
No, but
that's all I was
but
saying.
these-
And then my grandmother was like, "Yes, everything is shit." And she told me that I said, "Not you, grandma." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that was me," but I don't remember doing
I thought it was weird because when I finally came into like my full consciousness, these two were in the unit and they kept coming by being like, "How you doing, flirty?" I'm like, "What? What the fuck are you? What? Because that's not me. I don't do that." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you were asking for a number and what our mom does for work and where we lived previously." Like, what the fuck? What? So apparently, when I get a concussion, I just start hitting on chicks. Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
weird. All right, fine. Yeah. Look, we all fib. We're on the internet, but I don't lie about like my time doing stuff. I will not lie about that. That's my 100% truth on promise. Because I think that when you lie about something that important, other people get the wrong idea. And I don't want to lead anybody towards a wrong idea about what it means to do that.
I mean, I always think at your work. I always
In
think
general.
anybody at the work. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm drunk, I might say I'm better at Street Fighter than I actually am. That's true. I do kind of push that up a bit.
Yeah, I don't think I've been drunk in a long time. The other day, I drank a Four Loko like last week.
Not bad.
But that
You
just made
smoke
me
those
sleepy.
apples, man. At least you're
Yeah.
healthy. You're getting all that vitamin. What is it?
Vitamin
A
D.
from apples.
And
I don't know
vitamin
what the fuck it
D.
is. No, it's
A
not.
does
Shut
stand
up.
for apple. Yeah.
Vitamin D. Fucking easy segue.
I'm waiting on an edible to hit, and I feel like I should take another one because I'm pretty sure it already did.
That's you stack them, and then once it hits, you're like, oh fuck, that was enough. And then the other
Yeah,
one,
I
you know,
hate
it's
to
gonna
have
come
two
down the road.
peaks. I hate to have two peaks. You know.
How long has it been? 45?
At least.
I give it another 15. And then if
But
you
it was a
don't feel
gummy.
anything,
It was a gummy, and these fuckers usually only take about 30 minutes to kick in. So
you also know how they make this shit. It's not going to be, each gummy is not going to be equal amount of THC because the way they're making it.
well, I don't know how they make it.
I mean,
I just know how it affects me usually.
Okay.
All I know is how to have sex with goats.
What the fuck?
I like goats.
Goats. Goats are like the least responsive eyes in the animal kingdom. Why would you fucking? The goat
I know,
does not
right?
love you. Have you ever
No.
seen a
Well,
goat? They have the worst eyes.
I mean,
in the world.
sometimes you want to just get in league with Satan.
You want a fucking wild bitch, you know?
I guess if you're trying to like bring forth the Antichrist, I guess you probably could start there.
No, but for real, like goats do have some like very wild eyes.
They're
I don't
terrible
trust
eyes.
goats.
There's no empathy. A goat has no empathy in his eyes.
No, they're awful. I hate dealing with them.
The only goat I like is, you know, the little ones that bounce around.
Yeah, the cute
That's cute.
ones. Yeah, exactly.
I had the worst, worst job I ever had as a teenager was I had to like clip the nuts of baby goats. Like there's a gun. It's not really a gun. It's like a tag thing, and you got to go around picking up baby goats, and you got to click it, and it ties their nuts tight so that they eventually rot and fall off. Like that's how they do baby goats.
That's the humane way to do it, quote unquote.
I mean, other than using the knife, yes. Pretty fucking horrible. I was like 17. I'm like, what am I doing? Oh, you're making sure they can't like breed. And so these little baby goats are screaming, and I'm like, bad job. Bad job.
Yeah. People's fucking like dogs and cats are being like very harmlessly castrated.
Yeah, and the goats is just like, yeah, just tape them over and they're
Yeah, just fucking cut them off, dude. It's fine.
You've heard goats. Have you heard goats cry though? They scream like people.
Yes, they do.
Oh fuck.
It's difficult.
It's terrifying.
And I'm
That
in
sounds
Texas, so I was
terrifying.
getting paid $8 an hour to do this. I'm like, I lasted a week.
$8 an hour?
Well,
Fuck
this is,
that.
I'm old.
Yeah,
man.
to fuck
So
your
when I was
psyche,
younger,
right? It's
it's
like,
$8 an hour. So if I can clip
Jesus
goats and make sure
Christ.
there's no proper like function of life, yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
If you don't mind me asking, do you still live in Texas?
I do.
What
Texas
part?
is the best state of Mexico.
No, it is not.
She likes to stir shit up. She likes to say that for effect.
Well, she's closest to Texas. It makes sense.
I'm Mexican, so I gotta love Texas.
No, you have to hate Texas because of the Alamo. They did you
like-
dirty.
But
Actually,
look,
half of Mexico is
now
literally living in Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like nowadays, it's like when you go to
Yeah,
Texas,
the
and
Alamo
it's
is kind
like
of a
Mexico.
proud moment.
No, they did you dirty.
No, they didn't.
They killed them in their sleep.
No, they didn't. Wow,
Yes,
man,
they
what are
did.
you reading?
Plus, it doesn't
That's
matter.
not
It's
how-
war, you know. Like, you think I'm not gonna take that advantage?
Did they not kill them in
Like-
their sleep?
No,
What happened?
They killed them when they were fucking.
they. Yeah. Do you know the story? Because I actually do. But if you just want to,
I do not. But you're a Texan, so I trust you.
I'm
Tell me.
asking Teresa if she wants to tell the story.
No, I don't know the story. I don't know anything about it, to be
Then
honest, guys.
she-
I was
she's
never
fucking- that's
interested.
she's doing it for content. She's making a fucking joke about the Battle of the Alamo. But here's what I'll tell you, because I know it completely. I've looked at multiple points of research about this because I'm
As a
just
Texan,
weird
you
about
have
this shit. Well, we do get taught this in 7th grade, but I didn't believe it, and so I went to outside sources, both in Mexico and in Europe, because they did a weird study about it, because it's an independence movement. They love to do that. So essentially, there were 3,000 Mexican soldiers against this. The number varies, but about 350 rebels, which is what they were called, because they were actually Mexican citizens, which is weird when you think about it. There's a bunch of white folk living in Texas land, but they were Mexican citizens, and there were Hispanic people who also were part of this revolution as well. They didn't like the government in Mexico, which
And they were right. Like, come on, like, you
Yeah.
guys have seen the.
Or they just
revolt?
believed in quote unquote freedom. They wanted their land, and that's it.
They didn't want taxation, like in that time period. They didn't want taxation without representation. And they're like Mexico City and all
That's
that
totally
bullshit is
fucking
so
fair.
Far away.
So
And so,
exactly.
There was
And
like
Bush
30%
State did the
Hispanic
same thing.
people in the Alamo, and they don't like to talk about that, but there's like 30% Hispanic people in there going like, my land, my rules, stop it.
Because
And
it's
so
a
Knew
good
that.
idea, you know.
I
It's
knew
like-
that it was basically a civil war.
Exactly.
It was. It was one portion of the country breaking off from the rest.
And it's good
And so
because
they-
the
Same as the
Mexican
Vietnam
country
War, but
was,
we actually won.
was going like very crazy already back then. Especially with
This
the guy
what do
that
you
was
mean?
leading.
This was the flavor of the year back then. Like
Mhm.
disparate peoples so far away from the central like structure, they're gonna like
Exactly.
break apart.
Because
That
at
happens.
to this day, Mexico has a very centralized way of doing business, right? So over here in the north, we always get fucked by some bullshit, you know, bureaucrat from the south that doesn't even understand what's going on over here, and they put like extra taxes on this whole area
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
Assume Southern Mexicans are more
Southern Mexicans
like
are
the
fucking
Southern
assholes.
U.S.
Southern Mexicans are like chimps. They're horrible. They're conniving.
No, don't say that.
I fucking hate them.
Yeah, you can't be
Well,
racist over
No,
here.
some of them are good, but most of them, the culture over
Some
there
of them-
is
oh
it's
my
so
God, Trump.
horrible.
Dude,
No,
He's gonna
it's
be
a
the next
truth.
president of Mexico.
Look, part of
He's
my
gonna-
family.
you're one of the
there.
good ones. You're one of the good ones.
No, but no, fuck Southern Mexico and their fucking gay ass culture.
Jesus shit. All right. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. If you actually want to hear the story of the Alamo, I'll be
Oh yes,
like
please,
5
please.
minutes.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So, story of the Alamo, because I've seen multiple viewpoints on this, and I'm going to wrap it up real quick. So, basically, it's
As
what we've been
factually relevant as possible, please. No bias.
I'm not going to throw in an opinion. So, what occurred?
As a Texan, I don't trust you.
Okay. So, what occurred was that the Alamo was a central point in the country. As you know, that the country of Texas, which it was a country, by the way,
Exactly.
was centralized Austin to San Antonio. Like that was the population center. And so they took the Alamo from a very small garrison, very, very fucking small. Santa Anna came up with about 3,000 to 4,000 troops, and it was a mission. It was not a fort, but it had built up walls against Indians 100 years prior. And so these Texans, as they started calling themselves, stood there with about 340 people. They refused to surrender, even though this was the logical thing to do.
Because they were against the Mexican army.
They were against the full army, and it was a lose. So this was bravery for sure. Like if you believe in something, you sit in a fucking room and wait to die. And they were doing that. Honestly, that's pretty fucking...
Yeah, exactly. They were ballers. They were ballers.
True.
You know, they said, fuck it.
True.
We're going to go all
so they
in.
sat there. They got overwhelmed by numbers, which is always going to happen in this situation. And they got massacred. And
which is why the people got so angry. And they were like, nah,
but I think
fuck.
that the officer in charge, Travis was his name. I think he understood the symbolism of standing your ground, because at that point it became just massacre on massacre. Because Goliad had happened a couple months prior, where they shot prisoners, and so the Mexican army was not a well-trained army. The Mexican army was kind of shit at that point.
Yeah, because they were like very, very just recently formed, and they had just been in battle for like
they're
the fucking
using
past 30
old
years.
European tactics in a new war, and no one knew what the fuck they were peasants from Mexico's farms that they conscripted to be part of this army. And so the Alamo was a disaster, but it wasn't a disaster. It was a calling card, and it was a battle cry. And then, honestly, Sam Houston, the person who finished the war, didn't even have to fight a real battle. The Mexican army was literally laying in the valley by a river, quietly sleeping. And I know that, like, this is what I hate the most about, like, stereotypes, that we all take siestas, because I'm half Mexican. Okay, I fucking hate it, because I don't take siestas. I mean, I do.
I do. I fucking love taking siestas. I literally look.
Maybe
I
we do like siestas.
take 3 siestas a day. I'm not even exaggerating, guys. My last name is Ponce de Leon, so you guys go figure that one out.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I do take siestas too. My bad. All right, maybe I just don't like it being like thrown out there. But
maybe it's one of those parts where, you know what, it's real. There's a reason why that exists, and we're not even ashamed of it. You know,
I was
when
shocked.
you think about it, you're like,
because when I was 5 and I went to visit my grandfather in Mexico, it was like 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yeah, it was like 2 p.m. and he's
yes,
he's
this
not
is
sleeping.
Spanish
He's
propaganda.
just lightly napping on his back in his bed. Like, what are you doing? Because I'm not used to that. He was like, oh, well, he heard the church bells, so it's time to... What? Anyway, that was weird.
Stand your horse shit.
Well, It's pretty fucking sweet. Have you ever woken up from a small nap? You're super energized.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, well, would it be better? Look, I'm so stressed. I take a nap, I wake up, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and we don't have
My
big
sleep cycle
breakfasts.
does not work that way.
We don't have big breakfast in Mexico. It's like a go meal, like go go go, and then work until about 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and then you have your midday meal, which is the big one, and then you nap for about 45, and honestly, you feel pretty fucking great
Yeah,
because you digested,
exactly.
you're energized, and then you work till 8 or 9 p.m. Essentially,
What
that's
humans
what
are
I.
supposed to do. They're supposed
Thank you,
to
Double
eat
R.
and
So,
then like sleep and digest it.
Double R Gaming on Kick is saying that if you aren't napping, then you ain't living. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And thank you so much
I don't be
coming
napping.
on my makeup. But you're white. Maybe that's why. Because you know what? If you think about it, you guys come from like a very cold environment and everything. So if you take a nap, you may not even wake up.
Yeah, back in
Right?
the fucking homeland,
Yeah,
it was dark.
It was dark. It was damn.
But I don't know nothing about that. I've never been in that environment.
It doesn't matter. Have you seen the video of the little like what are those animals that like to chew trees and then create dams?
Beavers.
Yeah. So
They don't have
there's a
beavers in
video
Mexico.
of a little beaver
They
that
don't?
No.
That's
There's no
an
trees
American
big
thing.
enough and no evergreens to work. No.
That's insane.
No,
Well,
there's
they
no
don't have
beavers.
rivers like that either. They have floods in Mexico. Basically, it rains, and that's the river.
Sparrow! Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going? How am I doing? I'm doing very good. How about you, Double R? How is it going,
So-
Sparrow?
I didn't know y'all didn't have beavers in Mexico.
No.
I thought
no.
beavers were pretty much universal in North America.
Beavers are North America, for certain.
Damn. I live in Tennessee and I've seen beavers.
I think that's the extent, though. I don't think they go further south than that. Also,
Really?
you think about their fur, and these are mammals with heavy like metabolisms, and
That's true.
It's not good.
They
to
also
eat.
hold the heat real well, and like their skin's too thick for that.
Yeah, this is a North American Canadian thing.
Anyway, hello, new person.
Joy Sparrow. That's
Hello.
her name.
Joy's a friend of mine. She's a
Mhm.
fellow streamer.
And
Well,
she also
not
loves
fellow
doing
streamer.
art.
Was she on bow stream?
She's not on Kick.
Not on Kick?
No,
Oh.
on one of the other sites.
No, but
Double
it
R.
should be, huh?
Do you mind sharing?
Oh, you're not gonna like it though. That's the problem.
Why not?
I have that curse of being a stupid cam girl on Chatterbait.
Oh, that's a rough time.
Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it.
Well, I don't not like it, but what about you, dude? What's your preferred streaming site?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, what's up?
Beef.
I mean, I don't know. We're just talking here and stuff. It's just
I
it
think
really
we're
is
all-
like an open ground. But you know what, Joy?
We're all internet people, right?
Yeah, I got no
Exactly.
problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. Double R is saying nothing wrong with being a cam person. They did it for a while. There you go. And you know what? I just opened my Pornhub account. I'm not gonna do porn, but
What the fuck, dude?
no. Wait, guys.
Come on.
I'm not gonna do porn, but
Yeah, you are.
They
There's no
do
way you
say-
have a Pornhub account and you don't do porn.
Wait, no, haven't you guys seen that there's people that upload like movies and stuff like that to Pornhub because they don't have like
No.
the same restrictions?
No, I don't look at that. I look at the clips. I don't fucking look at the
So
fucking.
you're gonna be a Pornhub pimp? Is that what you're saying?
No, not a pimp, but I was thinking, maybe Pornhub needs a little bit of different taste of content. Maybe something that
Okay.
lingers in that line between the erotic, but it's not really porn. It's more of like a
No, I think Pornhub is
high
pretty
concept.
pigeonholed in its pornness.
Yeah, it's
As of now.
almost like you take advantage of the fact that you can be a little bit more sexual with it, that you don't have like as many restrictions, but you don't take it all the way, so as not to make
Okay.
it completely, like
Okay, but
not
what do you think the
be able to
people
do
that are
mainstream.
logging into Pornhub are looking for? They're not looking for a little bit less than sexual.
Hi.
They're looking
No,
for the most
no.
sexual thing they can fucking find.
I'm gonna be real. I think a lot of them would enjoy a good conversation,
Right.
and I have a Pornhub account and was posting content, but I took it down. Oh, hey, I whenever in a few years ago, I was doing the same thing in Reddit, so don't worry about it. And I did the same thing. I took it down.
What's the deal with Reddit? Is it now a place for porn, or is it still somewhat
It's
intellectual?
both.
Both.
Reddit has always been a place for porn.
Yeah, it's
No, I
both.
know, but is it exclusively porn now?
No, of course not.
No.
Okay.
It's also a place for absolute retardation. I don't know if you've noticed.
That's kind of why I ask, because has it gone all the way downhill, or from
No,
what you're saying, no, it hasn't. Okay. That's
no,
good.
it's a full spectrum of shit. But the porn is not heavy either because you can't show tits and ass and pee. So that doesn't happen on Reddit.
Wait, I feel like
4chan is if you want to see the disgusting forum, that's 4chan. That's where they get
Tits and ass are
all the
definitely
weird shit.
shown on Reddit.
I was gonna say I've seen tits and ass all the time on Reddit.
On Reddit.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
depends
Yes.
on what your filters are on your
Damn, that
account.
sucks. I'm subscribed to the wrong. All right. Fair enough.
You just look for porn and that's it.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm old and traditional, and I look at the actual porn website. I don't look at Reddit for porn.
I don't either, dude.
Double R. What else? What else are you doing in your wild times? I once got arrested for punching a cup. Well, not really for punching the cup, but I did not punching the cup though. Can't open Twitter.
You got arrested
anywhere.
for what?
Okay, quick story. It was Halloween, and I think this was 2010 or 2011 Halloween, and me and my cousins and a friend of ours, we were at the mall, and one of my cousins, he had like a military outfit, like that was his costume, and some like a police dude came up and he was like, I'm gonna arrest you for wearing that. We didn't know, but at the time, because there was like a lot of like shootouts with the cartel and stuff, they had prohibited people wearing like military get-ups. But the guy was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to take you in or whatever. And I didn't let him take my cousin because I thought he was like retarded, So when he was trying to like cuff my cousin, I just pulled him away. And because the guy was like really short, I was able to intimidate him. And I thought we were just gonna get away from it. But then he called for reinforcements, and when we were trying to like get to the parking lot of the plaza of like the mall, there was like 4 police cars and like them police dudes, and they all like went for us, and yeah. Then I punched one of them. Then they pinned me against the wall. Then he screamed, "You're gonna need more than 2 men to stop me." And I pulled away from them. And I started struggling, and then a third guy came in, and he like tripped me over, and then I started like thinking MMA. I was thinking that in my mind while I was pushing them with my legs because they were trying to jump on me, and I was just like giving them away with my leg. And then the third guy that had come in, he gets close to me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, come on, relax. You're making it worse." And he spoke to me like so patiently in that like very conflicting state that I just instantly gave up. I was just like, okay. And then I got arrested.
Well,
yeah, I just wanted them to be nice to
hit on
me. You know?
So you know exactly the tone to take at this point. You take an authoritative and patient tone. And Ceresa will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to punch an officer.
Excuse me. Do you know who I am?"
No, not like that.
If you even
no, what were you gonna say? Also, Samba,
we were
welcome
talking
back.
over each other again.
But yeah, Double R, you've been to prison. Yeah, I was only that one time we were in like jail for a little bit, and everybody was afraid of us because they didn't take the cuffs whenever they put us in like in the jail cell. So the other guys that were in there, they thought we were, like killers or something, because they usually take people cuffs whenever they put them in the cell, but they didn't with us. And then it was so funny because since it was Halloween, right? A lot of people were like just getting reined in, and in that group of people, in like a second group of people that they brought into the jail, it was one of my friends from high school. And I was like, "Dude, he's sad. What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, dude, we were egging some guy's house." They called the police. Oh my god, it was so fun. Like it was like a social event or something. Yeah.
I've always been locked up solitarily, like on my own. I don't have a social aspect to it.
Pretty much
I don't
same.
have
I only
friends
been
locked up.
I only got locked up for 10 days in juvie.
Juvie.
Yeah, I know that's not the same, but
No,
I don't even like going to school, Imagine
I did not do anything fucked up, actually. I was in court and I was like, "Yo, can I get a lawyer? Like, can I please get a lawyer?" I kept asking for a lawyer.
Dude.
And that bitch would not even let me have the luxury of a lawyer. So I got charged with contempt and I went to jail for 10 days.
You understand though that citizenship and you understand now what it means. You can't get a lawyer. You're not guaranteed a lawyer. Like your citizenship doesn't start until you're an adult.
That's horseshit.
18 and older.
That is absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get probation, Double R?
You're right. You're absolutely 100% right, but that is not fair.
Double R is saying
that's
that
why there's
did
so
2
many
years.
for-profit jails for kids.
Yep. I was in one of them.
It's not fair.
Did they make you work?
Don't have fair representation either. But
True.
No, I did all my time. Oh, that's so
Well,
good. Did you get like a
I don't
plea
think
deal or
anything's
something?
fair. Most things are not fair in this country.
Double R did 2 years in jail, but it was either 2 years or 10, so they got off very lucky. They're saying,
Fuck it. I'm not going outside. I'm fucking making
That's
I'm
why I
making an
always say
old school ass pipe out of can right now.
yeah, I'm staying in. Yeah, worked while I was locked up in the kitchen. Ah, nice. You got the kitchen? You got the kitchen roll. Isn't that like one of the best rolls to get whenever you're inside?
You get extra food.
And then you also get to be friends with everybody else because you are the one with it.
Well, yeah, because you can sell your food for coffee in general. That's what I found.
Maybe get a guy to suck you off. Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about like prison for years.
Yeah.
You're not looking for that in just your basic county jail for something. If you get less than a year, you're not looking for to be sucked off.
Look, Jeremy, you're looking at 12 chicken tenders every 3 days.
Damn, those chicken tendies are pretty fucking sweet, though. My God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I only did a few months in jail, but god damn, those chicken tendies were sweet.
No, I never want to be in jail. No. Because the machine for the payment wasn't working in the first jail that they took us to. So they had
the machine for the payment.
Yeah, they
Your
had like
credits?
some. I don't know what it was, but they had some issue with like taking our payment. So they had to transport us to another jail, which now that one was a bad jail. It looked like fucking the Road Warrior, the Thunderdome. Literally, It was literally like that. So they put us in like one giant jail cell with a bunch of other guys, and now those guys look like killers. The ones in the first cell, those guys don't look like 40-year-old guys that had just gotten too drunk, But the ones that were in the second jail, those were guys that they killed somebody and shit. And that made me realize I never want to be in jail. I never want to be inside of this place. I know it's horrible. Man, I haven't seen someone smoke out of an apple since high school. People need to start doing it more often. It's a great way.
I went to juvie when I was like 15, and it honestly was not that bad. We just kind of played cards.
Well, they can't, like, you're still a youth, so they can't.
Yeah, but the problem I think would be other Jews.
It's a structured cafeteria, essentially, if you're in juvie.
Pretty much, yeah. We only had like 1 hour out.
Oh, dudes, you're making me remember.
Oh, you got an hour.
Yeah,
we started
an hour's
so
good,
many foot fights.
especially since we had this fucking guy that was like in college or something, and he kept bringing DVDs that none of us wanted to watch. But this one day he brought fucking Napoleon Dynamite, and everybody in the place was like actually committing crimes and shit, and I had truancy.
Oh wait.
And I was like, "Yo, Napoleon Dynamite fucking rules."
It's a good fucking film. I'll watch it at
fun.
least 3 times.
Indie movie. What are you talking about? Cult classic.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this briefly. I was only in for like 4 or 5 months.
Hi,
4.5 months.
Wolfman.
And you know what people love in there though? And I never met anyone who enjoyed this show. American Idol. They love fucking American Idol.
That's
they love
crazy.
to watch fucking ABC like network shows. And they all
That kind of makes sense though. It's something to follow. Like
they were
it's
making bets on American Idol.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing? Like, oh no. Marissa from fucking like Wisconsin. She's my girl. And they put their fucking ramen packets on it. Like, what the fuck is going on?
What about the Kardashians and that kind of reality show, or is it just?
Well, there's no cable in jail. Not paying for that.
Caitlyn Jenner. Wouldn't it be cool if the Kardashians ended up in jail for a little bit?
I think they would.
And they
probably
made them like
fucking
an
rule.
arc in their.
I think they'd be the queens of the fucking jail room. Honestly, I think they take a bunch of bitches as their side pieces. Honestly, I think the empire would continue. The Kardashian empire will rise again in a Southern California jail. I believe it. I think they're gonna make their own flag.
Thank you, Double R.
All right. Feel like it's probably time to head out.
Oh,
for
but
the
yeah, this all started by me saying that. So I did open the Pornhub account, and I'm gonna bring the heat to Pornhub. I think I want to do Playboy for Pornhub, which is more the Playboy where you cope with saying that you do it because of the articles, but it's actually for the articles.
Is she leaving?
The what?
Mr. Beesh.
Yeah.
Mr. Beach.
Sir
You
Beach.
leaving?
Wow. I've gotten a fucking
No,
or
oh fuck!
nomenclature. What the hell?
I thought you
Yeah,
were
now.
saying that would be my name in Pornhub because it would have made sense too, Mr. Beast.
No.
Like Mr.
No.
Beast, but for
No, I would have said
Pornhub.
something much sillier.
No, I think I'm gonna head out at this point. Sunday. I gotta work tomorrow. So
All right, man.
all right.
It was good
Yeah.
to meet
Peace be
you.
with you.
Take care.
Envy.
Take care,
Good to
Cody.
meet you again.
Mhm.
Met you previously.
Yeah, I'm sorry I
Um,
do not remember you.
Doesn't matter.
But now you will.
It's fine. I mean, we
Hopefully.
did talk about the entire Texas Revolution, essentially. From the
That was very important.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
well,
it's
thank
like-
you. It's historically significant. You know,
Loved
there's only
it.
one. Hey, I'm gonna throw a little Texas fact that no one wants. I'm gonna do it.
Let's
I'm gonna
fucking
fucking
go.
dump this shit. You know, Texas is the only state that can break itself into 4 different states just by their own constitutional act. If they choose,
It's also
to do
the
so.
only state that's fucking gay as hell no matter what.
Now with 4 of us, there's gonna be 1 gay one and 3 pretty fucking straight ones. All right, I'm just fucking
Excluding
with you.
Austin.
Well, Austin will be the 4th one. All right.
Austin is where all the comedians
Good
are.
night,
at,
buddy.
Right?
It was good talking.
Austin is where the comedian like Joe Rogan's like take a dump in there constantly.
Yeah.
That's
With
fine.
like the Tony Hill.
He's got like a
Hill
spaceship thing
Street?
going on or some shit.
The
Kill
mothership.
Tony's out there. Yeah, the
Yeah.
mothership and Kill Tony's out there. I don't go down to Austin because it's literally 4 hours away. This state's huge. You can't even.
4 hours
Alright,
is
guys.
nothing in Texas.
No, but to other people, I say 4 hours. They're like, "Oh, you're going to the next state?" No, I'm going to the middle of this one.
Yep.
Do you have anything to
Good
do
night, guys.
tomorrow? Double
Good
R?
talking,
Good
man.
night,
Good night.
Bishwing.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah. This is why I stream. Some people stream for the money. You know what? Yeah, it would be nice to make money. But I stream for the experience, okay? I stream for the opportunity to meet new people. I stream for the opportunity to have great conversations that come out of nowhere. You know, just free flowing, just shooting shit. It's amazing.
I only watch streams for the opportunity to see people like that.
See people like talking, interacting naturally.
Yeah,
True.
all kinds of different people. Crazy.
What other streams do you see?
Huh?
It really is. Also, Double R. If you want to be, I don't know if you want to join the voice call, but if you want to, feel free to.
You should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be nice to know more about what you were doing in your wild times, and then talk about our own wild times. I mean, I don't think Deputy has had as many wild times, but
No, I'm
Chill.
a pretty boring guy.
he's an old school type of 16th century guy. With a penchant for the Crusades and stuff.
Yeah, 16th century is on to fucking behead your ass if you don't give me some gold right now.
He's thinking about discovering a new country, enslaving a new type of people. But you know what? Back in the day, it wasn't seen as that. Back in the day, it was just competition, I think. But it was just like in sport. It was sportsmanship. It was like, you know what? I'm better than you. You're better than me. And then whoever is better decides the rules. And if they won, they were like, well, I won because I'm better. So I know better. Boom. Lay down the rules. It's almost like my wrestling persona, guys. Whenever I have the gold on my shoulder, and I'm not even going to touch it. I'll join, won't be able to join. I'll join the Discord, won't be able to join the voice chat. Oh, don't worry, Double R. Don't worry.
Figure
But
it
if, Yeah, but if you ever want to do it, then that you may feel free to.
It's
You have to
fun.
get a new one. Yeah. So how's the tornadoes going on over there?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had one in some time. I can't believe you asked me that, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, because the other day it seemed to be like a big thing, and then it turned out like, it's everything gonna be all right,
No.
And it was all
No,
right.
Tennessee only has maybe one a year. We already had our big one. It's mostly Middle Tennessee.
How about what if I was from Tennessee? What would you, if I was going to Tennessee, what would you tell me to be careful for?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, what should I keep in mind? Like, we drive on the right, or we open the doors this way, or you don't take a piss here, but you take a piss here. That type of stuff.
Like,
just like basic rules for Tennessee. Like specifically for Tennessee. Like, I know regular things that are like across the board.
There's not many. There's that's what I like about it here. There's not many rules. It's just like a kind of a like ethics thing. Not ethics, but a social contract that you get into by being here. And if people violate it, nobody really cares. But
so it's not like in California or New York where it's like very like authoritarian.
nah, people fucking hate each other there.
Yeah, it's like this like heavy pressure to like conform to whatever the mainstream thought is.
Well, I've never been to a place like that, so I
I
don't know.
grew up in there. It's very interesting to me because so for me, like, people in the Northeast are rude but honest, rude but real, and people in the Southwest, like in California, are agreeable and nice outwardly, but are more likely to be snakes in reality. So, because I remember, like, I don't know, in California, it was just like a bunch of people would smile at me, right? But then it would turn out they didn't really like me. I don't know, but it was just like people weren't like outwardly, negative, but that didn't mean they weren't like internally.
Makes sense. My best friend is from Yonkers, New York. And he
That's
said
what
some
the bad-
nasty shit to me, but he was totally fucking serious.
Okay.
And it was a genuine like thought that he had. I appreciated it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Better than somebody that just like sucks your balls but hates you and will just backstab you at some point, I don't know. That's the idea I got from people from Philadelphia, because they love their identity as like assholes, but I think they also love that part of themselves because they also prize.
Yeah, they love the community of being an asshole.
Yeah, they love the community being an asshole, but they're also like, at the same time, that also crosses with like, oh, we tell us it like it is, While in California, it's more about just doing what is cool to get the benefits. It doesn't really matter what your actual stance is.
Be right back. I'm going outside to smoke some weed.
Let's go smoke it up. New Yorkers are a different breed. Yeah. Didn't interact much with New Yorkers. They don't hold their tongue. Yep. Exactly. But you know what? I preferred. At the end of the day, I did prefer that. Because at least I knew in very clear terms who I was good with and who I wasn't. Philly is wild, though. I love it, but I also understand why other people think it's a shitty place. But I love it. Yeah, exactly. It's extremely fun. It's freedom, you know? And sometimes that means that wild things are going to take place and nobody's going to do anything about it. But then, you know, that gets balanced off with the city just being like that in almost every other regard. Every place can be considered shitty. It's just how you take it all in. Yeah, no, I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia is probably one of the places where I've had the most fun in my life and felt the most free to just do whatever I wanted. In a way, it really resonated with me because the city that I am from here in Mexico has that same feeling where you can just do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not, you know, just like straight up messing with people in a bad way. I mean, that's she absolutely loving the streams lately. Could you please say the N word? And no. There you go. That's the N word for me. Not one place in the world is a good place because they all have their troublesome areas. Yeah, exactly. Look, it's like New York. New York was the same way. But I did enjoy it too. I don't know. It's like you say, every place you have the areas where you know, or you at least you get told, like, you know what, you don't want to go there. And he has areas where it's like, yeah, no, it's okay. You can just be here, really. Where all have you been in the States? I've been in California. I've been in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York, Texas, Nevada, Oregon. You're 3 hours from Mexico, so are you in? Where are you? Like New Mexico, Texas? Are you also in Cali? Because you could also be Cali. You could be in like Los Angeles, Texas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some places. The places where I've been the most time is California and in Pennsylvania. Those are the two where I've spent the most time. Hey, deputy! How about you, Double R? You're ripped?
Ye-
What does that mean? That you're like super high? Isn't it
I'm
fun?
high and drunk. It's fantastic.
Ah, yes, lovely. I I don't know. Look, I know some people may not agree with this, but I personally I love not being sober. I don't know if there's gonna be a point in my life where I'm gonna be like, you know what? No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to be sober. You know, I don't feel that coming for me. It's the
I
other
don't know if
way.
anybody disagrees with that.
I mean, there's some people that are gonna be like, no, sober life is amazing. And I mean, yeah, if you were doing like crack or heroin or cocaine, yeah, sober life is amazing. But for people that are just doing like weed and mushrooms, I think we want to be high all the time, you know? I wish I could be microdosing myself with like LSD or mushrooms.
A microdose of LSD, like 25 UG a day, that would
And
keep me happy for the rest of my life.
right? Right? That's what I'm saying. It's like, look, I'm not even trying to like rape anybody or anything like that, you know? It's like I'm not doing drugs to like be some
No, weed
super
doesn't make you thirst for the blood of white women.
yeah, right? So it's like but what I'm saying is like some people think that doing drugs is like you're doing it to become like a deviant or something. Sometimes you just want to do drugs because they make you feel good, right? And you just want to have a good
The
time.
only
Because,
reason to do drugs.
yeah, so like for example, right? It's like I would be so happy doing the microdosing, like you mentioned, because then I could probably feel like a normal person and be happy and content with like certain things in my life, right? That I normally cannot like so easily handle. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I've done it, you know, like in other times, I've definitely done the microdosing thing, and I've seen just how happy I am. I'm doing regular thing, dealing with people and shit, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is so fun. But they
Microdoses of
ask,
mushrooms are great.
you know, just being able to laugh with people, not feel like I'm getting tired of their bullshit or something like that out of nowhere. Being more flexible mentally. I've changed a lot from when I wasn't doing any drugs to now. And what I was asking is that if you have been to like other places in the U.S. and also you did mention that you wanted to visit Mexico. If you ever do decide to do so, I have a few places to recommend. Yeah. But yeah, you were saying
If I
that
trust you, I would rather just ask the internet where to go.
I mean, look, I'm gonna take you to all the gay bars. Wait, Cereza, is everybody in Mexico this gay all the time? Oh, silly! This is a gay bar. Wow. No laughs? Thank you guys. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm the Joker. Why are you not laughing at me? Come on, I was doing my best Joker impression. Well. You mean to New
Vegas,
York?
dude.
What?
Guys been to Vegas?
Vegas? No, never been to Vegas. Nothing wrong with gay bars. Yeah, no, definitely nothing wrong with gay bars.
Georgia sucks. Georgia is probably my least favorite state I've been to.
What? But Georgia is on my mind.
it's on my mind because it fucking sucks. I think about how bad it is all the time.
Really? Wow.
You can literally feel it when you cross the state line. How shit the roads are.
That is true because in the gay bars, people are not afraid to just dance. That is so true. I need to go to a gay bar. Can you believe it? I've never been to a gay bar, Double R. I'm probably the most homosexual person in the world. That's the least gay person in the world, too, at the same time.
They look fucking fun.
Mm-hmm. You've been to New York, Vegas, Georgia, Boston, and Philly. Very good places to be at, to be honest. Especially New York and Philly. And Boston a little bit, because they got the Irish. And the Irish are great, okay?
There used to be a gay bar around here and it got fucking shut down. It was like the biggest bar in our little town.
Do the Irish like Funko Pops? We're gonna have to. I used to live. Oh, and I've been to Louisiana. I used to live around the corner from the gay strip in my city. It's too fun, so much to do. I've never been to a drag show either. I don't know. I'm weird. I guess. Ah, deputy left. Oh, sleepy a bit. Oh, it's already 2 a.m. Give me just a second, guys. Bum, bum, bum. How long have you been up? 2 hours and a half. I mean, I took a nap. We were talking about the naps before, so I actually took a nap. From like 7 to 11, no pun intended. And then I got ready to start the stream, and I started the stream. Yeah. I sleep like that. That's like my perfect way of living, to be honest. Waking up whenever I want, sleeping when I want. That's the life I I want to have. I don't care too much about riches or stuff like that. I just want to be free to do what I want, and that's it. To free to do of my time what I want, instead of feeling like I'm slaved, right? Like I'm pressured to to do things that I don't want to do because there's no other recourse. Yeah, there you go. You get it like that. I I mean obviously it's not the same, but I feel like that's how I feel whenever it comes to like working a job, where you have to wake up with an alarm, right? And you, because the thing with that is you're always limiting your energy and your expression because you're always thinking that you have to be ready to undertake the task of working, so you can never go all out, you can never experience life how you want because there's always that overlay of worry and anxiety that's looming over every action. At least that's my perspective, right? And it's not like I'm a lazy person in the sense that I don't want to do anything, but it's just the things that I can do to like earn a living are not the things that make me feel alive. So it just feels like being a slave. Because look, what awaits me in the next 20 to 30 years? Just working. There's no way around it. Makes me want to kill myself. Yeah, you have to manage your time to fit everything into the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I always saw it when I was young. And I realized that I had to go to school and then I started doing the math. I was like, wait, so I have to go to school from the time I'm 5 or 4, and then I cannot stop until I'm like 20 something, and then I have to work? When the fuck do I get to do what I want? That was my question. Nobody could answer me, in a sad, satisfactory way. Everybody was just like, well, that's how it is. And in my mind, I was like, no, fuck it. Why does it have to be like that? It doesn't seem like it's fair. It's like, come on, I didn't choose to be born or anything. And then you're telling me that I have to be born in a place where, I have to sacrifice so much of my life experience to keep up with artificial challenges. No, doesn't seem like it's worth it. So that has always pissed me off. Like that's one of my right, Double R. It's like what the fuck, like, and then you start living life and you realize just how ephemeral it is, especially youth. Right? It's like from the time you're 0 to like 15, you're completely under your parents' rule normally, right? Or other people's rule. Then by 15 to 25, you're figuring yourself out, but you're still under some other people's thumb. Then you go as an adult, you're still going to be under somebody's thumb, and it's a never ending line. So it's like, why? You don't have to apologize for that, Double R. Thank you. But yeah. And there's many things I want to do that I feel are good for the world. They do provide a service, like all of that. But then getting the funds to get it started and stuff, it's difficult. But I do think, that I say that to clarify that it's not that I desire just a life of just lazing around. It's more like I desire a life where I can take meaningful action and spend my time doing things that are worth the lifetime. Because we don't really look at it like this, but every hour that you spend on the work, everything that you sacrifice of your life to keep up with that, which it includes the commute. Okay, it includes going from and getting back from work, going from home to work, getting back. It includes everything that goes around. Like, how, if you start thinking about it, how much do you sacrifice of your life for the money, right? Because if you were to tally it all up, and let's say out of 80 years lived, you worked a total of 55, and the other part that you got to not be working, how much of that was affected by the fact that you were not working and not making money? Like, how does that shape your thinking? How does that shape your life experience too? It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to put people through, and there are ways to make it so that it's less frustrating for the people that it is. And why isn't it a valuable pursuit? Why isn't it a valuable pursuit to look for ways to make everybody else more free? Wouldn't that be the thing that we are aiming for, with all the technology of convenience, everything that tells you that it's gonna save you time? To do what? To get more shit piled on top of it? Yeah, it's like the second we were born till we die, we're under somebody else's rule and not the rule of yourself. Exactly, double R. And some people misunderstand that, either due to their own ignorance, prejudice, or willingly, as like, oh, but if there weren't any rules, then people would be fucking each other up. And no, of course there are rules of engagement that we should follow because we are social beings, and every social being, not only humans, have rules of engagement to keep the peace between the group. Okay, it's normal. That's expected. It's not complete psychopathy over here, right? It's about just not allowing systems of control to be erected for the sole pleasure and benefit of a few, while sacrificing the lives of thousands and thousands, millions at this point, billions of people. To keep up what? Like, what is the worth that we are getting from that? We're seeing it around the world too. Look, it has an endpoint because it's not a system that is sustainable, because it's a system that is predatory and destructive. Because it's not based on truth, it artificially creates challenges and friction to keep itself going, to justify its own existence. But by virtue of that, by virtue that it does not create, it only consumes, then it has an expiration date. Because look, if we can have a society, we can have a lot of the cool things that we have today: plumbing, right, hot and cold water, electricity. We can have all of that. We can also have a sustainable system that follows the rules of life, right? Because the rule of life, the real law of life, you see it all around you. Like, and I always put this forward. It's, you take an apple, and one apple contains 4 or 5 seeds. If you were able to germinate just one of those seeds into a full tree, how many apples would that give you? And that was just one seed from one apple. The life is designed by God, right? To be plentiful, to be generous. The plants do basically alchemy. They turn minerals and materials that are in the soil that by themselves, if we took a bunch of soil and we just ate it, it's not like we would get all the nutrition that we need. Plants, they take all of that through the power of the sun and the chemistry that originates within them. They can turn that into things that humans and other animals can eat. And like you start seeing that, you start really thinking about the reality of things. You start looking at the natural world, and you realize that a lot of the challenges that define our lives as humans are artificially created to keep us enslaved. Hey, what's up, Joy Boy? Nice to see you. I know people who travel 5 hours to work and back, and then there's people who are thrown into adulthood because of choices their parents made, causing the children not to have a childhood. Yep. And then if you don't really have a good childhood, you create adults that will be incomplete and unable to be part of the cycle that is needed to keep things going in a sustainable and healthy way. And you're seeing it right now. Look, ChatGPT is destroying so many people's minds. Because you remember how it changed. People can see a difference between pre-Wikipedia, pre-computers, and then post-computers, post-Wikipedia, and now you're going to have post-ChatGPT. Look at how many people in X are like, Grok, is this true? And then Grok is like, yeah, this is true. Which is not a bad idea, but the fact is, it has such easy access that it becomes another tool of control. Because if you can control the information that people have access to, you can control the ideas that they can think about. You can even control how they know themselves, how much they can know themselves. That's why they've been doing this push for the past, I don't know, 100 years, but we can talk about the past 15 years with turning everything into shit, you know? The whole idea is to turn it into shit. That's the whole point. And then you create a new generation, because look, the people that are older, obviously we're gonna call it out. But you gotta think about the children. You gotta think about the kids that grow up with that as their standard. I know kids who can't even use a dictionary or an encyclopedia. Look, I have a cousin. I have a nephew. I have a niece. Wait. I have a niece. She was 10 years old, and she didn't know how to do like 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 type of math. She couldn't. She didn't understand like the concept. And the fact that she's never been held back 1 year, that she's gotten to be 10 years old, and she doesn't know something that is almost like just the most basics of logics, right? Because it's 10. It's basically 1. You treat it as 1, right? It's like it's just an unit or whatever. Like the fact that they don't have their brains developed to have this type of like conceptual thinking means that along the way of the education system, there has been literally no care put. And this is not, I mean, some people will say, oh, you know, it's just the way it is. But I don't think it's the way it is. I think it's the way it's been made to be. Because once you get to the point now where you have cell phones that literally just blast people with with social engineering disguised as entertainment, then you notice, why it's not necessary to have a population of individuals that are strong, that are self-reliant, that are independent, that have a will of their own. But whatever. Look, guys, this is a fun stream about gaming. Shouldn't be talking about this. So I see. What are you smoking right now, Joe Boy? Some weed.
Smoking. Yeah.
Let's go. What games do I normally play? Okay, so I've been playing this game. It's called War Robots Frontiers. Obviously, Halo. Although I haven't been playing Halo Infinite, but I do have it in there. Fortnite, which is another one that I haven't been playing, but I also have there. The classics. But then I've recently, well, no, not recently, but if you're talking more about the games that I like playing outside of like the stream and stuff, then we're talking about Crazy Taxi, Bayonetta, Burnout, etc. A lot of like older games, to be honest. Especially the games from like the 360 era. Oh, so many gems in there. So many gems. I'm really working on getting fit, guys. I'm eating better. I just got new clothes. Now, that's also an issue because I got so many things I cannot wear right now. So I've just gotten so fat. But I'm gonna change that. You're also trying to get fit. Let's get fit together, everybody. Okay? Let's make this our fitness journey. Let's keep ourselves accountable with each other. To me, I feel like I'm getting fat. Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, I don't feel like I'm getting fat. I'm fat. I've gotten fat. I'm wearing like size 10. Like, just shorts or skirts or whatever. I used to be, I'm probably more like size 12 right now. And I used to be 8. And I try to like wear the things like just as a trial, just to see like how far I am. I tried wearing like one of my old skirts and I was like, what the fuck? It doesn't even close. It's like this. Damn. Yeah, no. When you cannot see your guy, now you know you're in trouble. You gotta lose those pounds. Let's go. Light it up. Light it up, Joy Boy. Let me light it up too. But yeah, hopefully the new clothes that I order will fit me correctly. Because I think the people in the stream are going to enjoy it, man. Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah, they probably will. Look, I gotta dress for my audience. And to be honest, well, you did talk about you had your wall stuff going on. I've had my wall stuff going on, and to me, it's been like for a long time. I've had an issue with um accepting who I am, obviously, right? And that also includes because of the things that happened in the past, right? It also includes just being able to see my sexuality and like my sexual desire as something good instead of seeing it as something that I should be ashamed of. And lately I've been thinking about, you know what? I'm not a promiscuous person, but I do like feeling sexy. I don't know, I like feeling like good like that. It just makes me happy, and I think I've been limiting myself a lot in like my self expression because of how I think it could be misinterpreted. But then at the same time, it's like I don't have much time in my life. It's like time is passing by, so you better make sure to use your time wisely, especially with the things that you want to get done in your life or the life experiences that you want to have, right? Because sometimes we limit ourselves based on what other people may think or how they may react to it, and we are afraid that we may find ourselves in a bad place. But what if just doing what we love, regardless, will just allow us to move into spaces where other people that understand us are also at? And then maybe we can have better life experiences like that, where we get to have what we actually desire and we also get a good life. Yes. Yeah, that's also part of life and growing up. Definitely, it's part of growing up. Just trying to find yourself. I do wish. I mean, I don't know. It's just wishful thinking. Obviously, there's nothing that can be done about the past, but that's also why I like to talk about it, right? Because I know some younger people sometimes watch the stream, and I would love for those other people that are coming up to take less time doubting themselves and more time just living their lives in a way in which they are happy, in a way in which they can also align themselves with their purpose, right? Because a lot of times we think we are doing something wrong, but if we follow it with like an earnest heart and good thoughts in our mind, then we may arrive at a very different place than we thought. Exactly, Double R. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go take a nap, but I'll be back in a few hours. Thank you for being here with me, Double R. Obviously, thank you for being here, Joy Boy. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, night, and I'll see you in the next stream. Hopefully, see you guys.